Hey everyone, Carrie Beck here, and I hope this thing is recording because normally the little lady says something. This is Carrie Beck here with Family eBiz, and we help families start and scale their businesses so they can find freedom to do the things that are more important to them. And the podcast series we are in the middle of right now goes perfectly with finding freedom and getting rid of those tasks that you don't need to be doing and focusing on the things that are so important. This is both personally and professionally. So, if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do that wherever you're listening to this. And if you can leave a review, that would even be better. So, we're in the middle of a series, and I'm sharing some of the things that I have learned from this book, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. If you haven't gotten a copy of this, look in the show notes. There's a link. Yes, it's an affiliate link, but get this book. And if you haven't listened to the first podcast, I would go back and listen to that first. It really gives a foundation and where we're headed. And I am going to do a quick little review because I told you last time your assignment is to keep a time audit. I don't have mine here, it's upstairs. But for 2 weeks, you need to write down exactly how you're spending your time. Why? Because here's what happens, and I didn't have this last time, but you're coming along working and you hit some pain. And you are like overwhelmed, you're drowning, you're drained, you have no energy. So we're going to come and take an audit. And here. And then we're going to transfer some of the things that you don't need to be doing to someone else, but that leaves you time. You've bought back some of your time, and then you're going to fill it with the things that you should be doing. Now, next time we are going to actually look at that time audit. I was going to do that today, but I told you to do that for 2 weeks. And I really think it's important that you understand the types of activities that you are in and where they sort of hang out with your business and with your personal life. Because your business should be fitting inside your personal life. Your personal life does not fit inside your business. You need to make sure that you have the things that are important. And usually that may be the business because it may serve a purpose, but it's probably more things than that. So you need to understand the types of activities that you're doing each day, understand which ones you need to transfer. Here we go. Which ones you need to transfer, and then which ones you need to fill back up into your day. One thing I think it's important, we are talking about maybe offloading, even at a very inexpensive rate. If you can just afford $10 a week, you could afford someone to help you do things. If you can afford free and get a free intern, then you can afford it. So, but I think it's really important as we analyze these activities, you're not hiring to grow your business. You are hiring to buy back your time. You are hiring to allow more time in your life so that you can fill it with the right activities. So, what I want to do today is go through what Dan has is this drip quadrant or drip matrix. And there are 4 squares here. And I'm going to be talking about what each one of these are. So, if you will look at this down here, these are makes you money. So if you start down here, these down here don't make much money. These up here do. Over here, down here, these are things that light you up. These two, they don't light you up. You don't really care. These two really do light you up. So I'm going to talk about each of those because next week we will look at your time audit and figure out what we want to do with that, and then know where to get rid of things and how to replace them with more important things. So we're going to start right here with delegation. This is the bottom one. It makes little money or no money, and it drains your energy. It is things like email, Facebook, admin, billing, email, Facebook, travel, your calendar and appointments, email. Seriously, email. I really don't know anyone that email just lights them up. Seriously, that was one of the first things that I got rid of when I had someone that was capable and could take care of it. We'll talk about that next week. These things right here in this delegation quadrant are things that you need to identify quickly and move to someone else. Transfer. So we audit, then we transfer. For me, some of those were things like email. I actually have someone that sorts my email, and then I only have to deal with the things that I need to deal with. Scheduling your social media. Can you find someone that can help you? Can you find a child? Some of you that have kids at home. I personally think you should pay your kids very well. What about calendars and appointments? I am thinking about really offloading that, but one thing I have done is I've automated certain things. So if someone wants to sign up for a coaching session or sign up to be a guest on my podcast, they just go to my calendar that's online, sign up, and it's all automated because all of a sudden they pick a time that is available to me. They fill out the information. It automatically sends them a link for the Zoom meeting, and it automatically sends them reminders for the Zoom. So that is something that I spent $29 one time with TidyCal, and I can put the link to that. Let me write that down with TidyCal. And so there are things that you can automate. You don't always have to be hiring a person to deal with this. So you can delegate to a person or you could delegate to a software, some sort of platform. So delegation makes you little, if any, money and drains your energy. Up here, replacement. These are the things that make you money, but they drain your energy. And in Dan's book, we're not going to talk about it in this podcast. He actually has a ladder of things, and you start at the bottom one, and the bottom one is email, and calendar, and then you move up. So you first start and really get good at getting rid of email and calendar, and then you go on to the next items. What do replacement items look like? They make you money, drain your energy. They are things like managing your team, managing your social media, marketing, selling. You need to get rid of these as soon as possible. And it will take more thought to outsource these things than email. All right. It's going to take a special person to be able to do this. There are some things in here that I have already offloaded. There are some things in here I'm still trying to come up with a system. Whereas our business funnels, that's a whole nother subject, so that I can get the right person. And they are going to be an expert in that area. So I'm going to tell you right now, they're probably going to do it better and more quickly than I can do it. Some of the things that I have actually offloaded, transferred some things like scheduling my SEO and my pins, getting that to a point where someone else is doing that. Eventually, I would like to transfer my Facebook ads. I want to understand what's going on. I want to have uh, a conversation about that, and I want to be able to check stats, that type of thing. But I don't need to be doing the daily things that I'm doing right now, which is every morning checking my ads, which ads are working, which ones aren't, which one do we need to increase the budget, which ones do we need to get rid of the budget. Funnels. Once you sort of have a system on how business is going to work those funnels, that is something someone else can do. So those are just a few ideas. Now, I will tell you, Dan says this is the pitfall square. Why? You can get stuck here because you can't afford it or they're not going to do it well enough. Again, sales, marketing, delivery of your products. Again, that's an automation thing. You should not be doing it. Anyone that is getting a customer and then personally emailing them whatever it is they bought, you need to find a system. You need to get a platform that will deliver it automatically. So those are things that make you money, but they don't light you up. Next, well, we've got makes you little to no money and doesn't light you up, makes you money, but it's draining you. Investment. So this is light you up. If you can see, there's a little light bulb. But down here, it's not really making you any money. What kind of things should you invest in that don't make you money? This is one of my hearts. I love this one. You still need these, even though it doesn't make money. And it may not make money today, but it may in the future. But some of these aren't. You need to invest in yourself because you've got to take care of yourself to be able to help other people. And that's what business is all about, serving other people. I've said it. You serve before you sell. So you want to invest in yourself so you can help others, invest in your relationships, and invest in your business. There's about 4 or 5 things that Dan mentions that I'd like to share with you today. One, physical. You need, if all you do is sit in front of the computer all day, you need to think that again. You have got to get up and moving. I try to go for a walk every single morning. I try to actually walk through the day. I have a nice long circle driveway that I'm staring at right now. And it's a great thing just to take a 5-minute break, or I can walk around my short little block. I like walking. I like praying while I walk. Some people like to bike. My son has a bike here, so he will go for a bike. Maybe if you're not here, you're somewhere out of town, you could go for a hike in Idaho. I was able to walk out down into the country, but maybe things like skiing. Maybe you live close to something like that. We live close to lots of lakes. Maybe it's wakeboarding, or I was thinking kayaking. What can you do physically, or even just going to the gym? Some people that lights them up and they love it. My son and his fiance are one of them. She's there right now. Um, Time with others. To me, this is probably the most important thing in here because so many owners, business founders say, well, I was doing it for them. They didn't really care. If you're doing it for them and you don't have a relationship with them, you need to think again. So time with others is important. Time with family, time with friends, coffee dates with friends, community, your church, any of that, anything that's relationship with another person. Physical, time with others, hobbies. You need hobbies. I love to read. One of the pleasures that I have every week is Saturday mornings. I don't really care when I get out of bed. I have a book next to my bed and I just read in bed until I'm ready to get out of bed. And sometimes that is 10 o'clock in the morning. I know if you have kids, that is not possible. It is not possible when I go to my grandkids. But that is a hobby. That is a pleasure. Other things, I love to cook. Sometimes actually even I love to iron. I know people think I'm crazy, but I do like to iron. It gives me a sense of accomplishment and it just makes me feel good. You may not like that. If you're a sewer, you understand what I'm saying because you walk down all the fabrics and the if you're not if you're not a quilter, you're not a sewer, you don't get it. But the feel of the fabric is so awesome. It can light me up. Y'all are gonna laugh at me, but those are different kinds of hobbies. I was in a scrapbook one that hobby for a while. So whatever your hobbies are, you need at least one hobby. And if you don't have it, go find one. When your kids are at home, I would see if you have a hobby that you can do with your kids. Physical, people, time with others, hobbies, collaborations in your niche. These are things like podcast interviews, speaking opportunities, um, donating to bundles or being a guest blogger, all sorts of things. Those collaborations that can eventually make you money. And then the last one is personal development and professional development. Now, I personally, y'all know I'm a person of faith. I am sitting at my kitchen table where I pretty much sit every single morning and I just pull off, here's my Bible, and I spend a little time every single morning doing that. That is what I would call personal development. This is my 5-year journal. I have one that I've already finished. Now I'm on year number 2 of this particular one. And that takes me, oh, maybe 2 whole minutes to write down what happened that day or the day before, depending on if I write in the morning or not. Those are things that I believe are personal development. I need those things. I need time with God. The other thing is when I go for a walk in the morning, I pray. Those are my daily personal development. There are other things you could do, maybe go to a marriage retreat or even go to a women's retreat or whatever. Professional development. You should be doing some sort of professional development that you actually put into practice. You don't just read 10 books in the year and never do anything. You actually do them. Over a year ago, I signed up for Beth Ann's Facebook. ads. I need to put that. I'll put a link to that because you can sign up for her 1 week freebie thing. I ended up investing in that. And so I started that in November, finished it in, well, I didn't finish it till now, but I got all but like one module through January. I launched ads immediately. I spent money on that. I did not want to lose money on it. That was implementing the things that I was learning professionally. This book, I don't know how much this thing costs, like 15, $20. Um, I read this last weekend. And from whenever I'm recording this, and you'll get this in a couple weeks, but I read this in a weekend. And I immediately on Monday morning started my time audit. I've already contacted someone to transfer some things that I don't need to be spending time doing. You'll get it when you read this, and hopefully next week when we sort of pull everything together. But if you're going to have professional development, so many people, they either take courses and they don't finish, they sign up for a summit and they don't go to it, or they read a book and they don't implement. I'll be really honest. The other book that I plan to read, I read it a year ago and I didn't do it, is Never Lose a Customer. And I'll put that link to it in the resources as well. Just making myself. Because this year my goal is to read one chapter, reread one chapter, and do what it says. It has an action plan, just like this thing has these resources that you can print out. And then there are actually a lot of other worksheets as well. So this is investment. These are things that light you up, but they don't necessarily make you money right now today. Now, lights you up and it makes money. This is the where you want to end up. You want to transfer all of these things. You can't really transfer investment, but you want to transfer these things so you end up in production. What is production? It makes lots of money and it lights you up. This is true freedom. This is running your business instead of working in your business. How many of you just feel tired? You got that to-do list that never ends. That is not freedom. You need freedom to be able to go to things. And I will say, I have a to-do list that's really long, but I also have freedom to do the things that pop up in the middle of the week that are important. When my daughter calls and has a medical emergency, and I can, in 15 minutes, pack up my car and drive 3 hours away and spend the next 4 days with her till her husband gets home, or maybe till Ashley got there. I have that kind of freedom with my business. I am right now planning a trip to El Salvador in April just to take off and go see my friends that I haven't seen in a year and a half. I actually last night applied to go on a mission trip. I cannot believe I'm doing this. 2 weeks before my summer event. It's an annual event, Homeschool Superheroes. But I've got that freedom. Now I will probably work on the mission if they have Wi-Fi 1 hour every morning before we start our day. But that's it. I have freedom that 2 weeks before I am about to start my annual event that is very important to pay the bills because that is a huge amount of income. I have the freedom to leave 2 weeks before that. So what is it that you need to get rid of that doesn't light you up so that you can get into this particular area? Things like social scheduling, graphics. That's one I'm very picky about my graphics, but I'm going to find someone to take care of it because I'm the bottleneck. Like, we don't have new graphics. Why? Because of me, because I haven't made them. Writing emails. What lights me up that makes me money? Coaching, helping people. That's in business and in my homeschool. Helping lead the leaders and the childcare workers at our Bible study. That lights me up. Now, that is more of an investment. I will have to be honest. It's not making me any. So I should have that down there. But the production, coaching, helping people, being with people, teaching, share these summits, that lights me up because I know it's helping the people that are coming. So what you need to do is continue your time audit. And next week, I'm going to talk about how you decide what to do and how do you figure out how much to pay these people. And if I know you're thinking it's not my budget. I'm going to show you a way that it is in your budget. So Remember, we are not transferring these and hiring people to get something done to grow your business. You're hiring them to buy back your time. You're buying their time so you get some time back. And remember that 80% done by someone else is better than 100% of awesome. You may do it awesomely, but 80% done is better than you're draining yourself. Let it go, and you really can't afford it. So next week, I'm going to talk about our buyback rate calculations that Dan shares and what kind of activities to transfer, audit, transfer, and film. So thanks for spending time with me. I know this may have gone on a little longer than normal, but thank you. Think about it. Wherever you're listening, if there's a comment place, please leave a comment. I would love to interact with you about this. Carrie Beck here with FamilyEbiz.com. We'll talk to you next time.